welcome to ShockCast number 190. That's not right.
Yeah, right. That's right. It's good.
Brian, we are 10 episodes away from our huge, extravagant ShockCast 200.
Oh my god. Is ShockCast 200 just going to be us, as usual? I mean...
Ask me what I have planned, Ryan. Ask me, George, what do you have planned for ShockCast 200? Go.
George, what do you have planned for ShockCast 201? I'm sorry, 200, so...
I have no idea. I literally just saw that right now. I'm like, holy crap, 10 away from 200. I do something. But
the pressure is real.
It's 10-ish weeks away, so we'll probably get there by like the New Year or something. So maybe do something cool for the New Year show. But I don't know, something to think about and panic over. But hello and welcome. We took last week off because we were doing Comic-Con stuff. We got to see some video games.
Some.
There were some. It was a very the video game presence at this year's New York Comic-Con was very small. There was a lot of like off-site stuff during the week that was really cool. I went to Sony. You guys did some cool Nintendo Smash Brother thing. But yeah, most of the games on the floor, not much, because I know there was Namco Bandai. There was a Skylander thing happening.
Yep.
And
Capcom was the other big one.
And yeah, Capcom.
They were really the only two like big ones there. Before we get into this stuff, though, do we want to do new releases? Since we kind of forgot about that?
Yeah, okay. Sure.
All right. So there were video games that came out this week, believe it or not.
No.
There were a lot of them, especially because this has been a busy month for games between this month and last month. So I've bought in already like 2 or 3. So anyway, so new releases for October 12th, 2014 to October 19th, 2014. We have the big one this week, The Evil Within, which is out on PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, PC, Xbox One. We have Tears to TR2, Heir of the Overlord for PS3, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for Xbox One and PS4, Needhog for PS4 and PS Vita. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I've heard it's really good. Borderlands, the pre-sequel for PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. Minecraft PlayStation Vita Edition for PlayStation Vita. I figured that's kind of a giveaway, but... Pets Beach for 3DS. That's Pets with a Z, by the way, just to clarify. So, Duck Dynasty for 3DS, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and PC.
Yes, say this one, Ryan.
Senran Kagura Shinobi vs. Let's Get Physical Limited Edition for PlayStation Vita, and Senran Kagura Shinobi versus... 1 week. There's always that one Japanese game that I just cannot pronounce every time. Peggle 2 for PS4.
Peggle 2! Yeah!
Duck Dynasty, the GameStop exclusive Duck Deluxe Edition for Xbox 360. I did not know that existed.
Yeah, that one has extra homophobia inside it.
Sure. Anyway, we have The Walking Dead Season 1 for PS4. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 2 for PS3. I think it's on other systems too, but it only says PS3. But anyway, Lone Survivor, the Director's Cut for PS4 and Wii U. In Space We Brawl for PS4 and PS3. Best of Board Games for PS3 and PS Vita. The next one is for the awesome Humble Bundle for web browsers. So it's for browser. FTL, Faster Than Light Advanced Edition, browser.
Awesome.
Those are, okay, so Osmos for browser, Zenbound 2 for browser, and Dustforce DX for browser. Those are all, and Democracy 3, Humble, Mozilla. Okay, so those are all parts of, those last couple games are part of the this week's Humble Mozilla bundle, which is going on this week. Legend of Grimrock 2 for PC, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance for Wii U. I believe that was originally a DS game. No, GBA game. It was either GBA or DS, but it's being released on Wii U. Harvest Moon GBC2 for 3DS. It's a release of Game Boy Color Harvest Moon game. And Paper Monsters Recut for Wii U. So a lot of stuff out this week. So,
which one are you going with, Ryan?
Well, I am reviewing Borderlands the pre-sequel, so I'll get rid of that. I will probably go with The Evil Within just because I'm really looking forward to playing that game. A close second, though, to Duck Dynasty just because that game looks really ridiculous in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Evil Within. Needhog as well. Needhog I've wanted to play for a while as well, but I'm going to go with the PC version for that.
Okay, I'm going to go with the game I reviewed last week, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. I just did my video for Joysticking with George. You should keep an eye out for that. Where I just started. I took a guy, just a random pedestrian, and by the way, my character Wei Shan is just naked in just Yakuza body paint. So I just took a guy, smashed his face
As
against
your
a car.
character would be probably, but
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So I took a guy, smashed his face against a car, and then just left him there. And then just kind of hung around for a second. An ambulance came by. So two paramedic dudes came out. They like checked his pulse, and I'm just standing over like, oh, what's gonna happen here? Like, we could still save him. They take out two defibrillators. They do check, jujum, check, jujum. The guy comes right back up to life, and I'm like, wow, what? This is a miracle. The people of Hong Kong are just these two men are angels. And I took that guy and stuffed him in a trunk, and then just kind of left him there. And
Nice. Yeah, it makes sense.
so yeah, the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. I'm picking that this week. Evil Within I did pick up. I haven't touched it yet, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. So, but I'm gonna go with that random moment where I just created my own story there of like horrible person and he gets brought back to life, and then I'm like the psycho serial killer that put him back in a trunk and like you're never gonna escape me. But yeah, also Needhog's really good if you want like a good like cool little fencing game. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Comic-Con. How'd your Comic-Con go? I realize this is one of the only events where a bunch of us went to but never actually saw each other, which was weird.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I think the only DualShockers people, from our team that I saw were Alyssa and Dana. Were really everyone else. I didn't see you. I didn't see Joel or Al, or like it was weird. I didn't see like anyone.
Yeah, I went towards like I kind of slept in those mornings and went towards into the later afternoon, which was things were like a little bit more calmer in like the press room, and just kind of and then just kind of hung out with just other games press people afterwards because you rarely run into people anymore, so it's like this is the best time to catch up with certain folks and
I didn't really stay a lot in the press room just because like I was busy. I was only able to go really for Saturday and Sunday. I was there a little bit Friday, but I was working, so I didn't really get a chance to do anything on Thursday or Friday really. So Saturday and Sunday I was trying to hit hard and go see like all the show floor stuff, and I got a new camera a couple months ago, so I was testing it out at Comic-Con. So it was basically it was my first test run really with it. So it was great. I did a short video up on the DualShockers YouTube channel you can check out. That's just kind of a short like highlights montage video of some of the shots I got there, which was fun. I got a lot of photos. But yeah, also I didn't stay at the press room a lot because there was no Wi-Fi. For press, and there was one power strip at the very front of the press room that people were huddling over, and that was it. So the press room was absolutely atrocious this year. So I barely stuck around there at all. I maybe spent like 2 hours there at most, but I didn't waste my time there because it was not worth wasting time.
Yeah, it was the same. And last year wasn't that great, but like at least last year we had Wi-Fi. And to me, it's like, what the hell happened?
It was way better last year. Like there were at least some outlets, and there was Wi-Fi that was accessible at press. But all they had was 1 hour of free public Wi-Fi you could use in the press room. That was it. There was no other Wi-Fi, and half of the press room was taken up by this new VIP lounge that they added. So there was a lot of space kind of wasted. So
yeah, it was a shame. So it was actually really hard to actually cover the event because once you're there and once doing the actual work, you had to either go to a Starbucks or pay for Wi-Fi, and I refuse to pay for Wi-Fi because it's not even that good.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's just but you're better off just like walking across to like a Starbucks nearby or whatever. But anyway,
but how did your show go?
It was good. This is my second year going to Comic-Con, so it was nice just because last year I was kind of like, it was my first time going, so I was a little like overwhelmed, like, oh my god, I don't know where anything is, and the Javits Center is kind of confusing and big. So this year I was just happy to go, because I was a little bit more familiar with the layout of everything, but it was a lot of fun. I thought it was good. I thought obviously there wasn't a lot of gaming stuff there. Basically, the stuff you mentioned at the beginning between like Bandai Namco and Capcom was really about it, and then like the one Skylanders thing they had. But otherwise, the gaming presence was very, very small this year. But it was kind of good because it gave me, rather than something like an E3 or a PAX where everything's gaming and you're running like with like a chicken with your head cut off trying to cover everything that's there. It was nice because even though there wasn't a lot of stuff there, you got to spend more time with what was there. So I would get to play. I get to play more demos or get to spend a little bit more time with something rather than just trying to like, oh my god, I've got to cover everything that's here. So it was good. And I went to one panel for Telltale Games. They were doing a panel on The Walking Dead, just like a Q&A sort of session. It was hosted by IGN's Greg Miller was there moderating it, and then they had Robert Kirkman was there, and Melissa Hutchison, who does the voice of Clementine. I know there was the actor there who plays Kenny. I don't recall his name at the moment. But it was a fun panel. It was really good, and the crowd was really like energized, and there were a couple of Clementine cosplayers there, which was really cool. So it was funny. They were going up to get pictures of Melissa and everything. But yeah, I had a really good show. I thought it was a lot of fun. And obviously it was like the biggest Comic-Con they've ever had, I think, at this point. So, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So it was good because there are a lot of people there, but at the same time, there's a lot of people there, and it was really hard to get around. So, yeah. What about you?
I thought it was the show itself was like a little bit more toned down than usual. I was one of those people where it's like, hey, where's DC? I've noticed like DC had a very small presence. Usually they got like, Marvel was all over the place, had this huge booth or this whole surrounding
I feel like if you weren't Marvel or The Walking Dead, you basically like you had a very limited presence, especially DC. They were really like Marvel's just like kind of taken over a lot. So
yeah, it's strange, and Marvel did DC did have a nice little section where they had all the Batman costumes and all the you got to see the Ben Affleck cowl and cape. And also the sad Batman statue from The Dark Knight Rises, which was actually really cool when you get up close to it, and it's just like
it was
really
cool.
Huge and intimidating, but it's just kind of hilarious.
I got some good pictures and video of the statue and that exhibit a little bit, but yeah, it was kind of funny seeing it because every time I saw it, it made me think of the sad Ben Affleck Batman. Like every time I saw it, was just like sad Batman. So.
Yeah, sorry about that. Our editor Joel Tavares is trying to hump head, and I'm trying to like send Joel the invites, and I don't think he remembers how the internet works, so I'm gonna try to send him an invite there. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, I thought gaming wise, it felt a little bit light, and particularly for someone like for people like us who want to go and cover video games, you almost didn't have really anything to do because for me, Thursday and Friday was all I needed to kind of cover all my fun gaming stuff, and after that, you just kind of got to run around the floor. But I kind of like I like talking about video games. I like seeing video games. I like seeing it have a presence there, and it wasn't that big, but it was a lot more off-site stuff. So I went to a really cool Sony event, and there he is, the man, myth, the legend, Joel Tavares, just middle of our Comic-Con talk. Like I'm just like I was being like all eloquent and shit, and he just comes in like, bam, there's your face.
We should for Joel's entrance, we should have used the music from the Hatred trailer and just put that in music for this. But we'll talk about that later. But.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Tavares, how are you?
I'm doing all right, guys. How you guys doing?
Wow, you are loud and clear. You've got nice timbre to your voice happening. I'm totally about it. We were just talking about Comic-Con. How was your Comic-Con experience? I know you met you interviewed a very special person, and I don't mean special like mentally deficient. I mean special as in like super fucking awesome. Who did you see?
Well, if you ask Al, we interviewed Todd McFarlane, but we interviewed Todd McFarlane. Yeah. Or if you ask me in my typos, Todd McFarland.
Yep, that was it.
But the creator of Spawn, that was kind of cool. That was really my highlight of the show. It was pretty cool.
And wasn't he a part owner at that Kurt Schilling Studios also?
Yeah, he no, I think the story was that he picked up I'm not sure if he picked up the IPs from it, but I gotta look into it because I feel like for whatever reason
I felt like he did the art. I feel like he was involved in like the art direction or character design or something like that. But I know he had his finger was in that pie in some way.
I know Salvatore was in charge of like the story. R.R. Salvatore or R.A. Salvatore was in charge of the story. But maybe McFarland, whatever you want to call him, McFarlane was doing the art. I'm not sure. Yeah. Maybe he was.
And we were just talking about gaming stuff. You see any good games while you were out there? Anything catch your eye? Nope.
I heard there were games. I heard like rumors that there were games somewhere on the floor, but I didn't.
There were some games. There were more games outside of Comic-Con in like surrounding buildings than there were in the actual Jacob Javits Center.
Yeah, there were more like GameStop, across the street or whatever than what was at Comic-Con. There weren't really a whole lot. So.
Ryan, what'd you get to play? You did some write-ups, but give me a quick rundown. What'd you get your hands on? What'd you sink your teeth into? Those big Ryan teeth, and said like, what'd you play?
So the main things I played, I did previews of Resident Evil Revelations 2 and Lords of the Fallen, and I also played Project Cars, which I'll have a preview going up very shortly on that. That was really about it. I walked around and like watched some video from some stuff like the DBZ Xenoverse, I think was the DBZ 18 Xenoverse. I was watching a little bit of that just because like I'm not a big like I've never really been into the games that much, but they're just fun to watch. So I was watching a couple people play that.
So yeah, I got to play DBZ Xenoverse or Xenoverse.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That game is a hot mess.
Yeah,
but I had
it looked like it, but.
I had so much fun playing it because
It was just fun to watch, like people like kamehamehaing the shit out of people and like beating each other up. It was great. It was really fun. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. People doing what to each other?
Kamehamehaing each
There you
other.
go.
I don't know. It was like.
I could have sworn you said "kampai," and I'm like, that's racist.
No, it was not.
but the thing that has me really excited about this particular DBZ game, as opposed to like other really shitty DBZ games, because it's got that same awful camera, so the game looks really pretty in motion. But when someone creates some distance, it has this really bad lock-on camera. So if someone decides to fly above you, the camera just spins like that, and the game looks like a mess of just fireballs and nonsense. But the thing that has me super excited is there's 4-player death matches, and also you can create a character for once, and then you can drop that person into a story because they're time patrol rangers. So they're essentially what Trunks does. He goes into the past, be like, oh man, this Frieza guy's an asshole. So you get to do that, and kind of you can make a female Saiyan, a female Namekian. A Majin, those pink guys that Majin Buu is. Like, I was sitting there and like one person behind me, I didn't know what that race was, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a Majin. He's one of Majin Buu's guys." I'm like, "Oh my god, I forgot. I hate DBZ lore so much." And me not knowing, like me just totally like no self-aware, just no spatial awareness. I'm just sitting there, and the guy's dressed up like Goku, and I'm here just like, this game is terrible. This reminds me how much I hate DBZ. And the guy wanted to choke me out because I clearly was just like shitting on his parade, and he was just like, "Oh, I love this game." Like, "Oh, this camera, blah." But
you were shitting on his life right there. So
what else did I see? I also got to see at a Sony event. I got to see Bloodborne, which I'm really curious about because I got to play half hour of it. It's long story. It's essentially Demon Souls, which is good because it's from
a giant scythe, right? I mean, what are you carrying? Is it a giant scythe?
Well, my character, because there's 4 templates you can build, you can pick for that game. So mine had these like dual meat cleavers. So I was like, okay, and a blunderbuss. I'm like, I can get down with this. And you guys like in cool leather armor. You kind of look like a Final Fantasy character, but not not one of the lame ones. So I'm there, and it's very, when you play it, you can tell that the people who make Demon Souls made this game because it's very claustrophobic in some areas. The combat is still very dependent on animation. The guy was like, yeah, every new person you're going to run into is probably going to kill you at least once because it's before you get familiar with how they move and how where their weak spots is, where you can roll. I do like there are no shields, there's no heavy armor, so it's a very offensive heavy game, meaning they want you to parry and dodge because if you successfully counter an enemy attack, you get some health back. So that's how they're kind of getting people. It's like, oh no, we're throwing you right in there, and then you're gonna be surrounded by opponents. He said. So it's like your numbers will be always against you. So it's always gonna be a 4-on-1, a 6-on-1. So it's about like doing good crowd control. That was really interesting. So one thing that kind of threw me off though, because in my demo I died a couple times, obviously because it's they're fucking monsters, and it said thank you for playing. Now you start back from the beginning. So the demo itself is only 20 minutes, half hour long. So I asked the guy, I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I'm like, so how are you guys handling the death penalty in your game? And he's like, oh, we're still working that out. And as he was saying that, Stephen Totillo from Kotaku overheard us, and he says, excuse me? He goes, you don't have death worked out? He goes, they're trying out some things. And he's like, doesn't the game come out in February? And the guy had that look like, oh, I don't know the PR answer for this. And he goes, they have something. They're just not ready to reveal it yet. And then he immediately went like, well, we're going to talk about multiplayer soon, so be ready for that. So he did like his cool little...
That's when they punched you guys in the head and just like knocked you out, so that way you forgot the answer.
That poor Japanese PR man, because me and Stephen Totillo suddenly just started like thinking of questions right off the bat. Goes, well, so we kept bringing back the death because, oh, so are you going to have like a bonfire type system? Like legally, maybe are you allowed to have a bonfire? Because, well, we can't talk about it. I'm so sorry. At some point I was like, you know what? This guy's clearly not going to give me any answers. So I'm just going to move on. But I got to see some really cool game at the Sony event called Big Fest, where you're like a music festival coordinator, where the idea is there's over 200 bands. They're all unsigned. So as you're making, it's essentially like Clash of Clans. It's a energy-based free-to-play game that you can play on your PS4 or Vita, where you're just putting, here are the food stalls, here's the security office. But the idea is you kind of get these these fans that perform. And you have to make sure their performance goes smoothly because it builds up their rep and people love. So they're going to have this universal billboard of, so say Ryan's ukulele group comes up and they fucking kill it. You guys get some crazy rep, and then what happens is, so in real time it'll update this universal billboard, and other people will be like, oh, cool. So let me try getting Ryan's ukulele group and put him up here and see how that goes in my show, because then you build what they call vibe, which is kind of like your rep, and like the higher vibe you have, the more points you have, and then you can invade other people's concerts and pull pranks. But when I asked him what's actually the point of this, he goes, it's to have fun. I'm like okay, like I'll send streakers to your concert, but I want something from it. I just, I need some sort of monetary benefit from fucking up Joel's, like, R&B concert. And I do love the fact that they're going to have a bunch of different categories. So it's like, yeah, you're going to have some concerts where, like, you need to get 3 R&B groups. And if you throw a country group in the middle, your vibe's going to go down and people are going to get pissed and walk out and not pay for things. I'm like, oh, this shit just got real. So essentially I'm thinking, oh my God, I cannot wait to have a summer jam. Like, there. So that looks like going to be a neat game. I also saw Until Dawn. A best way to describe it, imagine Heavy Rain as a horror game, but with like somewhat better acting. Because it's not a bunch of Frenchmen doing American accents, it's a bunch of Americans doing like... So you're essentially playing through a slasher film, which is really cool. The writing's a little bit hunky-dory and a little kind of cheesy, but the facial capture is amazing.
One question, George. Did someone yell Jason at least at one point in this game?
No, I was waiting for that.
Not buying it then,
never happened. There is a serial killer clown that chases you through this like abandoned factory, and then when he catches you, he ties you up to like this crazy saw-like machine that's gonna impale you. And I don't like clown. I don't like scary clowns. I don't like, because I think all clowns have the potential for murder. I don't know if it's just a thing that happens when you become a clown. Your urge to kill just rises, or you just value life a lot less than other people.
I guess you haven't been watching American Horror Story then. But anyway, it's like
nope, fuck that. I throw my hands up. Nope, the scary clowns, they can eat a dick. I'm not dealing with it. I don't want it. I played DBZ, and then and I think that was it. I got to sit through a PlayStation TV presentation, and PlayStation TV is finally out. Okay, so PlayStation TV is out. I saw a presentation about PlayStation TV about a week ago. I still don't know what it is. So if one of you can illuminate and because I said during the presentation, I was like, oh, because I'm an asshole. I'm like, so it's like a Roku, right, for like PlayStation stuff. And I guess the PR thing is we're not going to compare it to any of the streaming services. We're just saying, no, but you have some video streaming services, and I just still could not get it. I'm like, so you can play games on this? Yes. Oh, so like all the games? He goes, no, not all the games. So what is PlayStation TV?
It's a Vita. It's a set-top Vita, right? But then because a Vita has the ability to do PlayStation Now, you can stream your PS3 game. Not your PS3 games. You can pay, to stream. Basically, it's a PlayStation Now box. Think about it like that. Basically, this. I guess the target consumer is. Doesn't want the console in their living room, doesn't want to get a second PS4 for the bedroom. You could stream your PS4 stuff, right? Because it's a Vita. Yeah,
that's the way it was told for me. It's like, hey, maybe you got a kid who wants to play like Lego whatever, and you don't want to put in the $300 for a PlayStation 3. You can just get them this thing, and it'll stream it live from there.
Yeah, for a price.
Which is the best I can do. Because it's just like the box itself looks kind of neat. And, like, I personally don't have a need for it, and like I don't know how many people out there need a second or third. Like if I already have a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4, why do I need a PlayStation TV?
I think it's kind of like to that customer that doesn't want to plunk down the $200, I guess, whatever PS3 goes for that nowadays, and wants access to a PS3 library. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Maybe
you want to play Persona 4 in 720p stretched out. I don't know.
Okay, now we're talking my language. But yeah, that was more or less our Comic-Con. But yeah, you should really watch that Todd McFarlane interview because it's kind of great. Because I was there and my inner like emo like 13-year-old was like, oh man, the Spawn was really good. But yeah, he's amazing. He's a cool guy. He has a Barry Bonds ball, right? Like he bought one of Barry Bonds' balls.
Yeah, he's a crazy baseball fanatic, and I think that's what tied him to the whole Kurt Schilling thing with 38 Studios. And he one of the first like licensed products that they did outside of comics was Major League Baseball, and they McFarlane Toys made like really awesome. I don't want to call them action figures. They were more like statues almost. They were like works of art, of ball players. So in the booth, he actually had like a Derek Jeter retirement figurine that was set up. It was pretty cool. But yeah, he has like crazy roots with baseball. He's obsessed with baseball, which was it was nice. It was just nice catching up with him. He seemed like really humble, really down to earth, and I can't believe it that in it like it's going on like 30 years, which is nuts.
Yeah, he's aging well actually.
Yeah.
But good for him. Are we ready to move on from Comic-Con? I'm kind of Comic-Con out. I mean, my only good Comic-Con story is I went to an after party that was a pirate ship on Pier 40. I don't even. Rovio, the guys who make Angry Birds, doing.
Joel can't even.
I can't.
Rovio, the guys who make.
Latte right now.
Yeah, Angry Birds. They're making some sort of weird pirate app. So that's what they said when I went to. He goes, "Oh, you guys are here for the app party?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, and I went there. And it was a replica pirate ship in the water that shot cannons of confetti and had dubstep. And the DJ was like, "Where all my pirates at? Say arg!" And we're like, "Arg!"
Oh, come on, no way.
I'm there drinking grog, and I'm wearing an eye patch, and I'm like, I'm into it because why the fuck not? Who doesn't love to role play? Yeah, it was super cold because you're on the water, but yeah, that was really really interesting. But yeah, that's all I have for Comic-Con. Like I said, it felt like a very more low-key Comic-Con this year for whatever reason, and maybe because they maybe spread a lot of things out. They had a lot of events in different parts of the city that were just like Comic-Con adjacent or related to. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to move on from Comic-Con. How about you guys?
I am. I'm ready. I was ready when I got there. As soon as I walked in.
All right, let's go over some review stuff. Our man Giuseppe reviewed Drive Club, which garnered 520 fucking comments.
That's it?
I at some point I couldn't even tell. I couldn't tell if this was a car thing or people are just insane. But you guys really love talking about Drive Club for whatever reason. I don't get it. I'm happy I'm not a car person because I probably would have been jumping like, no, fuck you. These wheels are more round on this thing instead of you. But yeah, I love when I see stuff go like that forever because the conversation takes like so many weird directions. It's like, how do you give this game the same other thing? This game is this score. You hate cars. This game's lacking. Yeah, it was beautiful. If you get a chance, don't even read the review. Just cycle through the comments and just see the many different ways a conversation can take.
The comment section is like the World Star Hip Hop comment section of video games.
Pretty much, yeah. You know what? Can we start promoting that we are the World Star Hip Hop of gaming? But yeah, it just
hip hop gamer might get mad though if we start calling ourselves that. So call us out.
We'd totally be doing like a whole cross promotion thing.
I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna get Hip Hop Gamer on the ShockCast because he said he would do it. He said that. He said he'd do it, so I'm definitely getting it because I ran into him like Wednesday or Thursday night.
200th episode needs to be the Hip Hop Cast and just like.
Me and Hip Hop Gamer got into a nice, not shouting match because we always kind of get into a shouting match about like I told him I wasn't really into Destiny. Like I thought it was a fine game. And oh man, was that the wrong thing to say to him? And we got to this great discussion about like we always say always review scores and blah blah blah, and like really great person to talk to, super nice. But it is an exhausting conversation because he brings the intensity up to here, so you feel like you need to match it. So I'm fucking there matching too. He's there giving me a hug and then yelling at me. I was like, no one hugs me and yells at me. I'm gonna hug you and yell back at you. So I did. It was amazing.
I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna hug you harder now.
Yeah. So I'm pretty.
Hug the shit out of you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure a PR person had to like break us up because they thought we were gonna come to. I was like, we're bros, man. We just hug. It was great. But yeah, I love Hip Hop Gamer. But yeah, Drive Club, you should check it out. It just said it's pretty good. He did the same review for Forza Horizon 2, which I did a video for. Really fun game. It's kind of like if you like Burnout Paradise, well, the car's crashing, but you like having a bunch of different events to do. You can't go wrong with either game, which is great. I also did Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. That's Square Enix's new thing. Is they're going to re-release games that are fairly
re-release all the things.
Re-release everything. Just make it 1080p, make it pretty.
Oh, but you want Final Fantasy VII? No.
No. Yeah, that's going to require some work, and we don't want to do it. But yeah, I mean, I figured Sleeping Dogs would probably take some 3 months of development just to like high-res textures and make it this big, and then there you go. There's going to be a video going up this week. I just did Joysticking with George, where I'm calling it the Adventures of Naked Wei Shen, because Naked Wei Shen throwing people in a trunk, Naked Wei Shen busting criminals,
Does Naked Man Shen run into Cobra Jimenez at all, or?
Naked Man Shen, no. Naked Wei Shen, though, does kill a man, who then comes back to life after he's resuscitated by paramedics, who I then throw in a trunk, and that's on the video. And it is amazing, and that shows me why I really kind of love open world games, because you kind of run into these random dumb events. Like it's so good. I'm at to the point of the game where you actually get a gun, because the first 2-3 hours of Sleeping Dogs you don't get a gun. It's like a kung fu action game. So guns get introduced. The mid-air hijacks get, where it's like so unrealistic, makes absolutely no sense, but you have to like suspend disbelief, where you can jump out of a car onto another car and then throw the guy out of the car and take control of that same car. Oh, and you can shoot out of the window. So yeah, if you've never played a Sleeping Dogs before, this is the definitive version that you should get it for. But if you did everything you had to in Sleeping Dogs on 360 or PS3 or PC, it's the same nonsense. You probably won't be into it. But yeah, check out. I did a micro review. It's good, and that video is kind of fucking hilarious. What else did we do? We also reviewed is it Natural Doctrine? Because I see it's one of those stupid games that have weird caps where they're not supposed to. It's like, the watch_dogs thing. Alyssa liked it. You should check it out if you want a deep and complex RPG with other pesky plots. So do that. What else we got? Review Art of Balance. It's a puzzle block game that Alyssa absolutely fell in love with. She gave it maybe one of the higher scores I've seen on the site, a 9.5. You definitely should check that out. Let's grab a box score from here. The purchase is a no-brainer. For those that may have one or both previous versions, justifying a third-time purchase may be a stretch unless you consider the vast amount of tweaks and upgrades that nearly guarantee a whole new experience. Yeah, 9.5. Pick it up. It's on the Wii U, I think. Yeah, there you go. You need Wii U games, right? You need games for your Wii U, right?
Just Smash.
Yeah, you just Smash or Bayonetta, and also if you get a chance, read Giuseppe's fine piece on him responding. Joe, I want to tread carefully and maybe find the right words. And if you want to help me, go right ahead. But you're making that face like, nope, this is all you. You step on that landmine, George. Let's just say a person from a different outlet. Let's say some reviews editor from a different outlet wrote a review and maybe put in a personal his personal belief or opinion, had that factor into his review score as opposed to playing the game as a whole and giving it maybe a fair and honest shake. Is that diplomatic enough?
I think that's the most political way to put it.
Yeah, because I feel like we're gonna bump heads with these outlets, with this outlet. After what happened today, I feel like there's gonna be some animosity between.
I don't even know, man. But listen, it wasn't. I don't want to say a response to it. It's not like Giuseppe's turning into a battle rapper, but.
Or is he?
Where is he? He's just trying. The G's move in silence, right? No, I don't know what. Yeah, okay. I guess the best way was, it kind of sucks because you had a lot of people that were really excited about Bayonetta, and again, this had nothing to do with the score. It doesn't matter what you score it, but I guess Giuseppe felt some type of way because it how to explain it.
He set it up more as a commentary on maybe modern review scores and maybe how people are putting in either their own personal bias or agendas, right. Or in his words, not mine. Because personally, I think if you review something and want to give it a 6 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10, that's entirely you. Because to me, that's always experience based. So if you're playing something and you're super offended by it and that's the score you want to give it, that is fine. I tell people, you know what? You shouldn't base any purchase off one review. I mean, if you have a favorite writer who is into the same kind of games you are, and you read that review and you completely agree, more power to you. But if you're a Bayonetta fan and you're reading it by someone who maybe isn't a Bayonetta fan and maybe just like, I'm not the biggest Bayonetta, anime games. I'm not a huge anime game fan. I'm pretty sure if I played a Naruto game, I'd be like, nope, no thank you, nope, don't want it. This makes no sense, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to see the game. I'm going to come at the game at a different angle than someone who's a huge fan who can look at it and maybe appreciate it a little bit differently. If the game sucks, that's a different story, but at least it doesn't start off with one foot back here instead of being, both feet together.
Right, and that's the whole thing. So, and in a way, I guess the author in question, from what I've seen, and these can all be circumstantial, but from what I've seen, that author in particular, tends on taking on games that it's kind of like he's going to shit on them, and he's taking them on. As he's a review editor assigning them to himself, like, I'm going to bury this game and whatever. But that's it's all circumstantial.
That's entirely up to them, though. I mean, that's their thing, and if you don't like what a particular outlet does with their reviews or with the way they cover news, no one is ever holding a gun to your head.
Right.
But don't be that ad block guy. I don't like when people are like, oh, ad block on, ad block off. I'm like, you know what? You're not helping anyone by doing that.
From knowing that editor personally and knowing their taste and all that, I don't think it was a case of that. I think it was just more of the review focusing on one aspect of the game that a lot of people thought, in this case being the over-sexualization of Bayonetta as a character, and so, like, at least for the majority of the review, focusing it on just that one aspect and kind of ignoring the other aspects of the game. And I feel like that's kind of where a lot of people, like, kind of took offense to that review in particular. Just,
right.
And like, yes, the sexualization is an aspect of the game, but there are also other things like just the actual game itself, like the gameplay, the graphics, the all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people felt like, what's that? Or
the video game part of it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people just felt like the review kind of like that. A lot of people, like, with modern reviews, that they're focusing less on those aspects and focusing more on other aspects that have to do less with the quote unquote game part of it. So
I feel like it's like, all right, let's say a movie critic who hates over the top violence. How's he going to go into a Quentin Tarantino film? What's the mindset going into that?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to judge it fairly? He or she going to judge it fairly based on its cinematography, its script, its dialogue? Or will that reviewer also jump into it and say, well, you know what, I didn't appreciate the violence, so this is why I docked it points. It was too much at certain points. This is why I docked it, and take that personal stance on it. And I think that's what kind of stood out in that review.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a thing when I guess it's the kind of the weird cross you have to bear when you're reviewing a piece of media. Like, it's not like a Consumer Reports reviewing like a toaster or like a CNET review of like a television. There is there's kind of like a checklist that, people looking for TV, they know what to look for. Color aspect, how many inputs, blah, blah, blah. One input loses 3 fucking points. Like, you don't really have that in games, so it's like everyone has to use their own kind of personal scale. And there is no uniform scale. I feel like those days of like that Game Pro, 5 for graphics, 5 for story, 5 for blah blah blah. I think that actually was like I think in a way that was kind of like a detriment, because there were some games that like shitty art are super amazing, and like I would rather give a game with shitty art, but it blew my mind. I will give that game a 10. And like, if the art sucks, I don't care. Like, it's like I said, it's about personal experience. Like, if he played it and said, you know what, this over-sexualization is driving me fucking nuts, where it's hindering my enjoyment of this game, then I feel like, yeah, if it's valid, that's fine. But I feel you need to be able to articulate. And I was when I feel like that's when people talk about reviews and stuff. I'm ranting. Go. What were you saying?
No. But was it like surprise boobs, or was it like, I know there's gonna be boobs in this game? It's no surprise. You knew what you were getting into. You saw the costume.
Yeah, I mean,
you know exactly what you were watching.
Her costume is her hair, and then her hair turns into things, so when they're things, she's naked. You
know what you're walking into.
It's the sequel.
It wasn't Snuckle Paw, right, so it's going to do things more over the top, more ridiculous the first time, right? Like, it's kind of like being offended by playing a Saints Row game. I mean, you knew what you're getting yourself. You know what you're signing up for at this point, especially if you're reviewing games. You're not a consumer picking it up off the shelf without any previous knowledge and saying, "Oh my God, how'd this content get in here? What kind of people publish this? I'm offended." No, you knowingly went into it and said, "You know what? I'm going to dock points because it's a little too much now." I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, we're always going to have this review score discussion, and
I know it's
like if something, yeah, I mean, it's the argument of like, how come you don't like the game I like, and at the end, that's what it boils down to, and and I feel like the people who are complaining about the game already are going to buy the game and not going to even change their opinion. So to me, the number doesn't even matter. That review is not for you. It's for someone else who's like, what the hell's Bayonetta? I have no idea what this is. Like, and they'll look at it and be like, well, that's a 6. And when you see a game like that, especially like those middling scores, you're just kind of like, all right, they gave it a 6. Let's see who else gave it. Oh, they gave it a 9. They gave it an 8. But obviously, the score is like an outlier. So maybe I don't have to take this person. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not going to give value or credence to that one because I have a different taste in games than that person does. which is fine. Like, I'm a big fan of, like, hey, I'm not into soccer, but you know what? I played FIFA and I gave it a chance to impress me. So to me, I feel like the game has to work a little bit harder to grab a non-soccer fan and be like, and you know what? It did. I was like, I actually done. Well, to be fair, if you have any character creator where I can throw myself into the game, I'm immediately like, all right, I'm into this shit. So that's FIFA. So again, that's all you want to say. Ryan, what's your last word on reviews? That's amazing. Incredible.
Yeah. No,
I'm teasing. Go right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I mean, I can understand, both sides of the argument a little bit, and like, why the elements in Bayonetta in particular might be a little off-putting. But I can also see, kind of the outrage that a lot of people had in regard to that review, just, because it kind of, I felt like the criticisms that were in the review were fair, but I felt like maybe, people were right that like maybe the review focused a little too heavily just on that one aspect to solely judge the game, and while kind of not ignoring but not like, covering all the bases of like what the game has to offer. So
and just I know we're gonna move on from it, but I guess like and it was pointed out even within the comments of that outlet, everyone was saying like, why don't you write another piece about this?
It felt like it should have been its own editorial. It should have been an editorial, not an editorial within a review.
Yeah, I think that was it. That was a point that Giuseppe brought up in his editorial that I agreed, that I definitely thought was really good, was that, if you're going to cover things like that, you could cover it more, you could cover it more in an editorial where you can focus just on that one subject, versus using it in a review, which I think, a review can't be completely objective. Like there's no way that you can make a completely objective review, but I think, you do kind of have to have a little bit more of that objective mindset when you're doing a review, because you're focusing on like the quality of the game versus the like more the content in it or something like that. Okay, I probably didn't explain that the way I wanted to, but anyway, that's all.
Ryan, it was beautifully eloquent.
It was eloquent. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I love you for it. And speaking of love, I'm gonna use that as a really bad transition to the game Hatred. And I'm glad Joel came on here, because we're not going to talk about why it's funny, but not the game itself, but some surrounding events with this game. So, Hatred. It is a video game. They released a trailer today. Destructive Creations. Fuck. Exactly. So this development team released a trailer for their game called Hatred. Okay, fine. The trailer itself, and if we're going by the trailer, this game is about a crazy person giving some sort of weird manifesto, like, people are human scum and worms that deserve to be blah, blah, blah. Very angry 15-year-old scribbling in the back of a notebook type nonsense. The game is essentially you going on a killing spree, killing innocent civilians, police officers, apparently people who can't fight back, and you stick your gun in people's faces and you blow them up, and apparently none of these people are actual bad guys. You're the bad guy, and yeah, if you get a chance to look at that trailer and we were sitting there and just worried like, oh my god, these Fox News reports are going to be like, we were right, told you, video games are bullshit. Look, they're making people crazy. You know what, Joel, you talk about Hatred. I'm kind of I need a break.
Again, I still can't even. I know. Honestly, I showed it to my wife, and she was like, "I need you to turn that off right now." She was like, "That's like way too much." And I told her, I told her like before. I was like, I kind of like gave her the
warning.
This is gonna be offensive. I just want to show you. This is the craziness that went on today. So I showed it to her, and her face, she was just like. So basically, I mean, you described it perfectly. I mean, it was, it's basically a mass murder simulator.
Yeah, and
the point of the game is to commit a suicide by law enforcement, like get yourself killed by cops or whatever. I guess get the highest wanted level or whatever it is, and I guess that's the end game. I don't even know.
Yeah,
because are you supposed to keep shooting? I don't know. All I know is
and all we know there's no
history.
And there's no parody, there's no satire. People are making maybe it's just being offensive to be offensive, like Postal. Like Postal had this attempt at humor.
Yeah, like no Gary Coleman here.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. You're not peeing on anyone, you are partly setting people on fire. It seems like that kind of game. But you're not peeing on anyone. There's no like wink wink nod going on. The developer seems to be really eating this up, as opposed to saying like, obviously it's not being published by any big publisher, because I'm pretty sure if you walk into an EA office or an Activision office, like, guys, I got the great idea for you. So imagine you play this game where you look like the guy from The Crow, but instead of killing gangsters who killed your family, you're just killing innocent civilians. Huh? 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 No, they're just not happening. Yeah, so the developer is doing like really like troll-like tweets where it's like, oh man, wait till people see this, they're going to be super offended, and just taking the total wrong approach. I mean, if the idea was to get publicity for your game, I think they did it, but not the type of publicity the rest of the gaming industry wants.
If people are talking, then you're doing your job right? So.
Yeah, I think that's what bothers me, is just because the game is designed to get a rise out of people and just be controversial for the sake of being controversial. Like, you know, because I think a lot of people brought up, like even Al, you know, brought up that, you know, the game is like, you know, the violence that was in the trailer is in games like GTA and Watch Dogs and things like that. So the violence isn't really the thing that's shocking. I think it's just, you know, I think it's just different with this game because it's like, it's, you know, GTA and all those like at least have like satire and some other elements that, you know, and they have like consequences for that violence, whereas this is just like unrelentingly violent. And
well, also, like, those games that are super offensive, the plot was never to kill a bunch of innocent people. Like,
right, it was like something that could happen.
Yeah, like something could happen as collateral damage to add to like the realism of the game. Like, hey, you know, if you're having shit out with the cops, you just sold a bunch of cocaine. Like, yeah, you know what, someone's gonna hit by a stray bullet, and you know what, you get docked for that. Like, you get.
So this is like kill people, get more points for killing innocent people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, because maybe this is just their, like, we're going to get a rise in people, and then we find out, actually, all those people you're shooting are actually, like, secret Nazis. And, like, if that's the thing, fine. But we had no indicator from that. I'd love to hear a comment from the developer saying, like, yeah, let's talk a little bit more about this game. Like, I want to know if this game will show up at, like, a PAX or an Indiecade or something and see what happens there. And really see where they're coming from, and just maybe this is just a small snippet of the game. Like, we don't know. Maybe this is just a part in the game where you're just playing a crazy guy's dream, and then you have to, or maybe, you know, in my head, I'm hoping the elaborate troll is, you know, you're killing all these innocent people, you get suicide by cop, and all of a sudden you're playing. They turn the table, and you're playing the cop who kills him.
You're playing the cop, right?
Yeah, or there's something weird twist like that where people are going to be like, where, you know, developers will be like, see, you guys thought we were assholes, but really we're fucking we're arcade.
Let's hope that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's what it is. I don't think so, because they're doing everything wrong.
No.
All right.
It's like horrible on all levels. That's why as soon as I saw the Unreal logo in the beginning, I rewound it. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and well, that's the story. The story is Unreal came out and said, like, they're using our logo unofficially. We do not endorse this game. Don't even know how they got our fucking license. Don't even know how they use it. We never sold them an Unreal Engine. They must have stole it. Someone called the FBI. Like.
Well, that's the whole thing. No, I mean, they admitted, like, hey, anybody can, you know, use our engine as long as they're paying for it, you know, in so many words. So I think that was the situation here. They licensed the Unreal Engine, and they were like, they kind of like displayed it like proudly. And in my head, I'm thinking like they displayed it so that way they can kind of, I guess, legitimize the whole product that they're putting together.
Yeah.
So I contacted Epic Games, and I was like, is this legit? Like, are you guys aware of this? And then that's when they hit us with that statement, and we published it. But
First?
Yeah, that was
first. You saw it here first at DualShockers.
Yeah, that was first. Don't ask around though, but that was first. But so we got the post up, and I dug around a little bit. I saw that they released a statement to GameSpot. That the publisher's not. I mean, the developer doesn't even know if they're going to be able to get on Steam or God.
I mean, there's no way this
hell is going to.
There's no way this gets anything less than an AO like rating. Pretty much is like, and you know, if it has, or even if it gets a rating at all, and if it in either case, it won't be able to be, you know, distributed through a lot of, you know, like publishers and all that.
And I'm always one of those people. I'm very sensitive to censorship. So at no point do I want to say we should pull this game off the rack. I mean, you have to kind of let the industry and the consumers, you know. You tell them, if you don't want this game, then, you know, if you don't want this game to exist, you just simply don't buy it, and don't let, you know, this is a good time to see the ESRB do their job, where they look at it and be like, yeah, you know what, this game is fucking AO, all right, good luck. Like,
watch this game get kickstarted by 8chan and self-published.
Yeah, oh god. I mean, yeah, if they want to go to self-publishing route, fine, you can do that, and then just, you know what, like, the sick, crazy person will find this game and play it.
Well, that's and that's
Yeah,
it's just really crazy. I don't know, it's just really
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, if you go like to the dark corners of the internet, you're gonna find like mass shooting, like Flash games, and mass shooting, like Unity games, just
Yeah.
what people do in their spare time. Like, I hope it gets kind of reserved to like that fringe part of like the gaming environment. But yeah, I mean, I don't say we should pull it. I think let the industry just say like this is terrible. No, it's like when a shitty movie comes out. Like, what do people say? Just don't watch this fucking movie. And then people, what people do? They say, oh, you know what? That makes sense. I just won't watch it. Like, don't give this game any support. Like, yeah, like hatred. Oh, it's like you sit there and you just kind of wonder, why do we do anything we do when like this kind of not like this is gonna be the only thing normal people talk about when you say like,
oh, you play those video games, right?
Yeah, you cover video games, right? Oh man, that hatred, that's so weird. I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's like this Gate or just any other nonsense. Just like, no, we're just like more than this. Like,
yeah, just this coming on the heels of like the more recent gaming media coverage and all that that's been showing gaming in not a really positive light doesn't really do much favor.
You mean showing us as the worst people in the world?
Yeah, it's when you get people trying to defend video games for all their, and then you get a game like Hatred that comes out and just like completely slaps.
Video games are art, man. You make it feel something.
You get all those people that like try to defend games as art and something meaningful, and then you get this game that just slaps them in the face with a dick, and just like it's basically. It's like,
now you got Bill O'Reilly filling up his propaganda gun with morality.
Yep. Yeah. It's
like yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like we need Adam Sessler to come back and calm us all down. I feel like he's like, we need Adam Sessler to come because he essentially just left gaming because he was like, I'm done with this bullshit, and he just kind of disappeared and like rode off into the sunset. I need him to come back like fucking Wolverine. And
he's gonna be like Gandalf in Return of the King, where he just Two Towers when he doesn't show up. He shows up when he exactly needs to. So.
Oh man. But yeah, it's getting late. Let's run through some really quick news things, and you guys, I will mention a news headline. You guys will tell me how much you care about it in 1 to 3 words. You can tell me. Okay, and I just drooled it. Fine. Okay, PSN Friends List returns on PS4, PS3, and Vita as Sony brings back systems online. The Friends List was down. There was an outage, but you can finally see your friends on your PlayStation stuff.
Didn't notice.
Ryan.
Wait, sorry, what's that?
Your friends list on your PlayStation stuff disappeared for like 3 hours, and now they're back.
I didn't log on my I didn't log on my PS3 today, so I didn't notice. But anyway, so it's like
there's Hyrule Warriors Master Quest DLC coming. Ryan, you're a Zelda thing.
That's all Ryan.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I don't have a Wii U, but
3 words.
Anyway, yeah, it was.
I don't have none.
No Wii U. Ugh. Okay, we're done with that. Oh, ESPN 3, guys. That's ESPN 3 for our bilingual viewers out there. We'll broadcast the League of Legends World Championship Finals this weekend. Finally, esports is real. It's getting the coverage it deserves, and I'm being facetious, but you can go to a channel on your television set.
I'm sure MLG right now was probably shitting themselves.
Hey, they had their chance. All right.
It's only a matter of time until America becomes Korea, where we just constantly have like StarCraft channels, and it's like it's only a matter of time. So
no one gives a crap. Okay, cool. No one's a League player. No one here is a League player.
Nope, I don't do MOBAs. So
I don't do them either. I've tried to get into it, but there's such like a brick wall of a barrier.
I think that they're awesome. I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to get into that community because people. It's trial by fire, so the only way you get there is by getting your ass kicked.
Everyone's like, you suck, get out of here.
It's like when my friend that plays MOBAs put it. They were like, they're like, oh, you played 200 hours of League? Oh yeah, you're like a newbie, you're just starting out. So it's like I'm just like, yeah, I can't even deal.
Ryan's like, I have a job.
No, it's just even like I think I haven't even played a game for that long. Pretty much, it's like not even Smash Brothers. I don't think I've played that long, and like.
That's funny.
Guys, did you know?
No.
That this day, 13 years ago, this small indie company called Capcom released a game about a white-haired gentleman. Hero, if you ask me personally, a hero. Some may say an anti-hero. Dressed in all red, went by the name of Dante. Devil May Cry came out 13 years ago. Yeah, it was a while ago. This is cool hair. Dante was very big in that anime craze when cool protagonists didn't say much and had white hair and big swords.
Also trench coats and no shirts. That too. So
that inspired a lot of really bad cosplay. Yeah, Devil May Cry's 13 years old. Where were you 13 years ago? Ryan, oh, you were born. Joel, where were you 13 years ago? I'm sorry. I'm a terrible bad human being. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I play Devil May Cry, but now I'm not even gonna be in this conversation anymore because So.
Ryan was not in utero. He was alive and well.
Wow, Devil May Cry. No, I remember playing this at Yaris's house actually. We were both. I don't want to say it. We were both 16 or 17 years old.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and that was that long ago. That really sucks.
I was 15. Oh, Lord. And at 15-year-old George, this game was right up my fucking alley.
This Devil May Cry was rad when it first came out. I mean, it was nuts.
He had the attitude. He had the cool clothes.
Yeah.
He got the girl, and he got her by being a dick. He was just like, whatever.
And it was like an amazing visual game at its time on the. I mean, the PS2 really kicked ass. Mm-hmm. Like when you look back at the time, like visually, like you talk about. So I think the same year you had Devil May Cry. I'm pretty sure you had the original God of War.
No, God of War. The original one was 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot later, but.
Okay. Yeah, it was that.
It was later.
Good Lord.
Yeah, Jesus. God of War is almost 10 years old. Next year, it's going to be kicking 10, so...
Oh, my God.
That's how I feel when I meet people who are born in, like, late 90s. And it's like, well, I was born in 1999. I was like, you're not even... Are you a person? Like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, was 2005? You sure?
Yeah, it was 2005. I'm sure.
That was a freshman in college, George.
That is way later. Jeez.
I was goateed back then. Oh man, I looked like an ecstasy dealer when I was at 2005. Like, I had this really sick goatee, like just chin though. Like I got rid of this. The chin. I had these really weird sideburns going on.
Did you say a chindo on the ShockCast right there?
What happened?
Never mind.
Yeah, I looked. That was a tragic day as far as my fashion sense was concerned. But yeah, Devil May Cry. It looks like we cared. Awesome. Guilty Gear Zerd dash sign dash is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 December 16th in North America.
There's a demo out right now. We have footage on the...
There is a demo, yes. It's on our website, DualShockers.com. You can see a demo stuff happening. There's a trailer, too. But, yeah, you Guilty Gear fan, anyone?
I love the style. For me, the fighting... I'm still very much a Capcom fighter guy.
Really?
If I'm going to play any fighters.
Yeah, I thought Guilty Gear was a good palate cleanser if you were just kind of tired of these 3D fighters and like, I'm not a real Street Fighter guy. Like this was a good 2D fighter alternative if you want to be like the cool like no, I don't play Street Fighter. I play like Guilty Gear, like some people are just like, no, I'm into Blaze Blue, and it's just like, oh, sorry, cool guy. Ryan, were you a Guilty Gear fan? Were you a Soul Bad Guy fan? Which is maybe
I'm sorry, I've never played any of them, so sorry.
You should, because the announcer was like, Soul Bad Guy. I'm like, I can't believe, the video games are dumb. Like, that was his name. And
Soul Bad Guy.
Soul Bad Guy. SOL. Too bad Al's not here. NBA 2K15, they're going to be releasing a patch addressing numerous issues. And
it's not working when it's not connected to the internet, I'm hearing? Like...
I
heard that game is wrecked. I don't know.
Listen, the patch has been submitted to Sony and Microsoft aimed at addressing, among other things, being booted off my park. So one of the bugs, and let's call it a bug, okay, because bugs need to be squashed, is there's this mode called My Park where it's essentially playing street ball against your boys and stuff, which play a game of 21. That's really cool. That's the 2K basketball has been always amazing in that regard. You can sometimes get just booted out of the game, and the game will play itself out while you're still there but not playing. So you're actually sitting through a game being played by CPUs, but you can't play because you got disconnected for whatever reason. And all this has to do because they added that virtual currency. So you need to it's basically an online offline game. You need to always be online to make sure you're not cheating with your virtual currency because you can actually pay real money for it.
Right.
And God forbid they can get exploited.
And now you can gamble VC, but they're not calling it gambling. I forgot what they're calling it, but Al was telling me
wager. You ever wagered any VC on the court, Joel? Play game of 21.
Apparently, Al is turning into Woody Harrelson in White Man. I don't know.
I can't do it now because Al doesn't really Al's kind of like stone faced through everything, so it's just like doing an impression just seems really boring. It's just so. Got these Jordans. You want to check out these Jordans I got?
Destiny and shit.
Yeah. So Destiny and shit. That's pretty much verbatim what I'll talk. It's just Destiny and shit. Chris Manning said on Twitter, new patch looks to address a ton. We're keeping an eye on all, strong emphasis on all, your feedback, and the dev team is working hard on remaining issues. So does this sound like an issue of a game being, we need to get this fucking basketball game out before the basketball season starts? Because that's
I think from everything that's related to it, it's all about keeping the player online and keeping VC flowing. Mm-hmm. So this game was like, how can we get people to spend as much money as humanly possible before next year's game?
Get that VC. Maybe they'll fix the character creator, because apparently you use the camera on the character and it turns you into a human monster.
I'm surprised you haven't tried that to bring yourself into the game.
I'm getting there.
All right.
There will be a Joysticking a George where Cobra Jimenez will take the blacktop and fuck up some people on the street. Just saying. And I would do the full face on there, and I'm going to take it as is, too. I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to... So if I look like some sort of weird alien, that's just more embarrassing when I beat you on the court, man.
We'll just let it rock.
Oh, man. Here we go. Halo Spartan Strike announced as a twin stick sequel. Halo Spartan Assault. That insanely popular twin stick shooter. Halo Assault.
Oh. I love Microsoft swag, man, because they have money just to throw around for days. They're like, you know what? When we sell that first one, fuck it, let's make another one.
Hey, when we were talking about the console wars and who's like, and to me, Microsoft will win because they literally have infinity money. That is, they have a cheat code as far as the Grand Theft Auto. Here's $1 million. Oh, we're out of money. Oh, here you go. There's another $10 million. They will buy exclusives. Apparently they're paying Ubisoft to
parody.
It's like, oh no, let's not.
Like, can you make this shit not so shiny? Here's $10 million to make it not as shiny.
And just to set the record straight, that is not true. That's confirmed. It's just angry internet saying things because that's what you can do on the internet when you're angry. Is you can say things. All right. So no one cares. All right, great. Poor thing. My PlayStation TV is available now in North America, ladies and gentlemen.
And George still doesn't know what it actually does.
Is it a Vita? Is that what it is? You're telling me it's a Vita?
It's a Vita, I guess.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a Vita sometimes.
I don't.
PS4 extender other times.
I don't want.
I think that's the best way to put it. Is a PS4 extender, pretty much. It's like.
And the funny is, I wrote this fucking article, and I'm like, I laughed. I'm like, I think I just have a dull spot for a PlayStation TV for whatever reason.
So one of the things that everyone's failing to mention too on this PlayStation TV thing, so I'm just keeping quiet like I'm watching on the sideline. So the way remote play works is that it lowers the fidelity of the game. That way you can stream it to your Vita. So, right? Like the Vita's 960 by 540. So a PlayStation downscales the game so it could transmit to your Vita. So on this thing, your game gets downscaled to the Vita resolution and then upscaled back up to 720. In other words, your PS4 games look like shit, but no one's mentioning that. But it's cool. We're just going to let that rock. I'm just going to continue sipping my tea here.
I had a conversation with some of the numerous Comic-Con after parties of some person really saying like, no, I love my Vita. I can fucking play. I was playing Destiny in the bathroom, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, you can't put that. Like, how long are your dumps where it's just like, oh man, I can't not stop.
I just rated right now.
Yeah, I just rated, son. And I'm like, it is unhealthy for you to be on the toilet for that long. That is how you actually develop.
Your ass will come through.
I mean, you could, in that time, you could either finish a raid in Destiny or you could finish Killzone Shadowfall. You could do either one. So it's like.
Ryan just digging that Killzone Shadowfall. Go get him. I still don't know what it is. I guess we talked about so Ubisoft released a statement. Well, no, they did not. There's one big rumor thing. Apparently during the Giant Bombcast by the fine people over at Giant Bomb, they got a letter from a guy claiming to be a Ubisoft employee, let's say, who addressed the PSN no parody hashtag, and oh my god. Okay, so he claimed that the reason why both games are running at 900p and 60 frames or 30 frames a second, basically, reason why both games are not going to look as good as they are on the PC is they're saying that trying to make the game 1080p on the PS4 and running at a decent frame rate was a nightmare. Not saying they couldn't do it. They were just saying they rather would just put it down to a place where the game ran smoothly, fine, where everyone was happy. They, Microsoft's the guys paying for the TV spots are happy.
Not the dev studio. Make sure that everybody outside of Ubisoft was happy.
Yeah. So and to me, it's too early to tell, and you can't really know because all this is rumor and speculation. We don't know. We don't know if this is backpedaling or if it's true. I mean, if it's true, it does make sense. Where it's like, hey, you know what? We can make it look this game, but the game might run like crap.
And there is a lot of shit going on screen from what we've seen of Unity. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of NPCs. There's a lot of
NPCs.
It's kind of like you're getting the Assassin's Creed that you were shown in a trailer 10 years ago, and you're finally getting it.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? If I'm getting that Assassin's Creed, fine. You know what? Run it at fucking 900p. As long as you give me that game you promised me 10 years ago, I'm okay with that.
Right.
But they're saying there was no shady backroom dealing, even though I guess it's just more fun to think about like the sleazy Microsoft guy, just a briefcase of like $10 million, just talking to some French guy at Ubisoft, like, hey, Jacques, I'm just gonna leave this briefcase that may be full of money here, and I'm gonna leave the room
with a piece of paper of resolution in there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave just a note with a number on it. I'm not gonna tell you what the number's for. Interpret it any way you will. And he leaves the room. The Jacques is like, fuck, man, that shit was crazy. Opens up the suitcase. 10 million.
Sacre bleu.
10 million French rubles, or I don't know what's the currency, the euro. Opens up, and there is a folded note with just a thing that says Jacques. He unfolds it, and it says 900p. He puts it down.
It's like I know what to do. I know what needs to be done.
He goes, I know what to do. And there you go. I've unveiled. That's the scandal. That's what happened. Internet, you were right. Wow. Well done, Internet. I applaud you. Okay, yeah, I'm done. All right, and make sure and read our previews and stuff on the website for Comic-Con before I forget. Also, Joe, we have a giveaway going on. Tell us about that giveaway now.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we're giving away 4 copies of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And the cool thing about this is that the reason it's a weird number for 4, because it's usually like 1 copy, 2 copies, whatever. So 4 is kind of a weird number. We're like, initially we were going to do, 1 PS3, 1 Xbox 360, one PS4, 1 Xbox One. But then we figured, oh shit, what if the first person wins? And he's like, all right, I want the PS4 version. And then the second person wins, and then there's no, Xbox, whatever version. Well, we kind of wanted to avoid that. So 4 copies, winners get to pick. Winner gets chosen on Halloween, October 31st. I'm sorry, not chosen. The contest ends on Halloween. Winners will get chosen afterwards, and we'll ship that game right to your house.
Great. And if you win
after you're done pooping,
jerks. I'm sorry, I stepped all over your joke, right? I'm
sorry. It's okay. So when you're done pooping your pants in Alien Isolation and Evil Within, you got Call of Duty to kind of to pick up on it. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I stepped all over that.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, if you win stuff from us, take a picture and tweet it out. Show us,
Yeah, seriously.
That way we're not just trying, it's not just saying like, yeah, we've got games. Joe, we don't have any.
Oh, very important side note. So this is a story that I'm unveiling on the ShockCast for the first time. The person that won the Destiny PlayStation 4 from us did not check their Gmail tabs, and they were skipped to the next winner.
Ooh.
Wait. So Locker Dome, your emails may come in under your social or promotions tab if you're using Gmail. Mm-hmm. So if you are participating in the contest, just make sure you're checking those tabs if you use Gmail, or you're searching Locker Dome in your inbox in the event that you're chosen. Very, very important. So now...
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear something worse? The second winner hasn't responded yet.
So there's still a chance for you guys.
It's like the 500th person is going to get the PS4.
I'm driving around with this PlayStation 4 in my trunk. Like, I need a place to stick it to, please. Oh, it's not in my trunk. Please don't steal my car. So no, it's just yeah, it's in safekeeping. But yeah, I believe that Locker Dome's going to contact the original winner, and we're going to get that sorted out. But yeah, so if you are chosen for the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare thing, or if the contest ends and you're wondering if you won, please just make sure and you check, search Locker Dome in your email to make sure, see if you're on that list.
All right, let's wrap things up. Joel, what are you playing right now, this very moment? If you were to leave the podcast and if I said, like, Joel, I don't want you here, you boom, what are you going to play right now?
I'll go play Assassin's Creed with Orcs, also known as Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe that game. I'm sorry. They can call it whatever they want. I mean, it has a very cool system with tracking down the captains and the war chiefs and all that. I'm really digging that. But it's Assassin's Creed with orcs, and it got pumped up as this revolutionary thing, and everyone gave it like these amazing scores. Not that it's a bad game. I'm having fun with it, but I really thought more of it. I don't know. I thought it was going to be something else, but I'm having fun with it. So I play like little short spurts, little hour here, hour there. But I think for that it's enough. But I think if I play more than that, I'm going to get tired of it quickly.
Cool. Ryan?
So Smash Brothers still has its hold on me, so I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers on my bus rides and all that. Other than that, since last time I recorded, I finished South Park: The Stick of Truth, which I really enjoyed a lot. I thought it was really fun. It was a good game. A lot of farting, which I might dock some points for it. But no, I'm kidding. It's fine. But it's like, it was really good though. I liked South Park a lot. It was good. And this week I just bought Alien Isolation and Shadow of Mordor, so I'm going to be playing both of those. I started playing a little Alien Isolation. I'm probably going to play a little bit more after we're done. So yeah, that's it.
Have you had like random Smash encounters on your commute?
Like
that's happened that
playing against people,
yeah,
or
yes, this lights up all of a sudden. You're looking around the train car.
No, not yet. No, no, not yet. Eventually, though. So actually, I did play against former DualShockers writer David Rodriguez, and I
beat D-Rod.
I destroyed D-Rod. It was like, but it was really fun. We had a good time playing, even though he did feel kind of butthurt after, but.
Sorry, David.
He's gonna listen to this and just like text me and be like, "I hate you" or something.
Ryan, I've been such a bad influence on him. What am I playing? I just picked up Evil Within and Alien Isolation, so tonight I'm going to just do the scary thing and just record myself being scared for you guys. I'm doing two more episodes of Joysticking with George, Alien Isolation and Evil Within. So that should be kind of.
I'm probably gonna stream Alien Isolation for a little bit tonight too, so you can check that out after we're done. So.
Yeah, and of course, Ryan, my favorite part. Joe hasn't been around for my favorite part of the ShockCast. Is
the sexy time part?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no. What? What about that?
Joel's leaving right now. So.
Joel, when you're looking for a cool shirt that might be gaming related. I know you have issues trying to find because
how do you even do this? This is amazing.
It's George magic.
Joel, you've reached out to me privately saying, George, I've seen you wear some really cool gaming shirts, and said like,
where'd you get those shirts?
Yeah, you're like, can I be a cool guy like you? And I said, sure, Joel. It's weird. Don't you know I bought this off the website you fucking own? He's like, oh, I had no idea. Okay. Tell me more. And I said, yeah. Don't you know that we have a TeePublic DualShockers page? There, you can get a cool, Joel and Ellie shirt, a blue shirt.
Joel and Ellie, the Joel and Ellie from
Last of Us.
From Last of Us.
Duh. You can get some Solid Snake stuff. There's Dr. Mario the Virus. Ebola is very topical, so yeah, totally do it. You go to our TeePublic page right on DualShockers.com, and it helps us out. It keeps the lights on. It lets me write stupid things on a chalkboard. It's what keeps the ShockCast going. And just realized something, and which is so hilarious, is I had the camera fixed on Ryan for most of the ShockCast as we were talking. Only until now that I just fixed it and realized that now it's doing over. So I'm gonna leave it as is, but also do an audio version, just so if you get tired of staring at Ryan, just like really getting frustrated that I'm just talking so much.
Oh, is it gonna be like an hour and a half of just me being dumb? Like
more like an hour 15.
Okay.
Because I did notice at some point, because Joel was talking, like, how come I'm seeing Ryan and not Joel? And I'm like, oh fuck, all right, so yeah, so for your viewing pleasure, you're welcome. that you get to look at Ryan for a solid hour. On the glorious return of the ShockCast. Joel, thank you. You are invited anytime to come on the ShockCast.
Thank you for having me.
Ryan, the same thing.
I can't wait to look at all this as I'm editing and just like, stare at me for an hour and
dude, you were gonna hate
15
me.
minutes is like.
You're gonna hate me because I literally have 2 videos that are like over 6 gigs big, waiting for you to be edited. Which
I can't wait. I just can't. My enthusiasm right now.
Yeah. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching ShockCast episode 190. Yeah, sure, 190. One step closer to 200, guys.
One step closer to the hip hop gamer.
To the hip hop gamer. Oh no, he's coming on. He's agreed. All right, he's getting on here. And make sure you guys watch next week. I'm gonna have a very special guest, and we're gonna talk fucking horror games and scary nonsense. Oh, you like that tease, right? And it's a real special guest. I said special guest last week and got Joel, but but like a real person from a I'll leave it at that. That'd be cool. Like and
Yaris is in the United States now, and he wants in on this.
I've told him.
He literally just messaged me.
Yeah, I told him he can come on whenever he wants when he's not busy being a father.
And he loves playing games full of Nope, which is what you're going to talk about next week.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I would say I'm hoping to play more Alien by then, so I could talk about more Nope then. So
we're going to talk about horror games, horror movies, scary nonsense. It'll be super fun. And thank you for watching. It's always a pleasure, guys. Goodbye. I love you.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Nice.